Okay, we are here for another part of my talking about my replicas. I talked about the red one first, then the white, and I mentioned I might talk about the shark. And as usual, when I make these, I'm bored, so here we are. I'm surprised the color looks this nice in this lighting. Usually it looks really dark. It's a weird paint. It's a metallic burgundy berry duplicolor red. When I first sprayed it, I thought it was way too dark. And then I looked at more photos of the real one and noticed that it was actually pretty damn correct. I just used universal silver for the silver. And then under that, the real guitar is obviously white. And so there's white there. However, I taped off, inside the cut and on here so that would stay natural wood looking like the real one. And under the white paint, there's also black. There's no photos of him playing it black. He may have done it as like a primer. I don't know. But in a lot of photos, you can see chips and you can see the black underneath. And so I figured, what the hell. I ended up using like 2 cans of paint for each color. And that was about $90 or something for paint. So that kind of sucked. But hey, gotta make it look good. This is about as correct as you can get with a body without using a real shark or a real Ibanez destroyer. My friend Donnie started making them, and I've been wanting a shark for a while, but I didn't really want to cut up some sort of Explorer or something and have to fill this in and reroute it because theirs aren't right. I didn't really want to fuck with all that. Also, I don't like the idea of buying like a $500-600 guitar to tear it apart. Which sounds stupid because I think I would do it to a real destroyer if I had one. Maybe not. But as soon as he said he was going to start making these, I said, hey, tell me when. And this one is actually his prototype run test. He studied all sorts of shit about the real ones, see how they were made. So, it's a multi-piece body and it has 2 layers. Can't see it now because it's painted, but, it's, some people call it a pancake body, so there's 2 parts, but there's also, I think it was like 6 pieces on the body. I don't remember how many on the neck. 3 maybe, I don't know. I guess his company name is Vestige Guitars. His name's Donnie. It's pretty cool. So yeah, let's talk about this. This one is based on 1978 first tour to 1980-ish, somewhere in there. There were some things I liked, some things that I don't know. All the hardware and the way everything is how it looked on the first tour. But the wear, since the first tour is the tour is used most on, I assume a lot of this wear was there because it wasn't really used much after that, at least live. So it's somewhere within 78 to 1980. But yeah, got that brass nut. All these tuners are Godos. Let's see if I can turn this over. The real one as of now, the real one has double tab shallers for both the gold and the silver. At least that's what me and a few of my friends believe. They're rare as fuck, especially the gold ones. I'm not paying a lot of money. These were cheap. They look the same. I mean, pretty much. The gold ones on the real one have a bigger button. But I mean, generally this looks fine. You know, normally I like to not spend a shitload of money. So, I avoided that, but yeah. What else? Hardware wise, I think everything else is pretty much Godo. Well, I guess the only other things are these. These are Godo. I think I have CTS pots. I think the brand for this toggle was Proline. It's a box switch. It's not like a normal Les Paul switch, because under here it's a small rectangle, so I think pretty much only that kind of switch will fit. My friend Donnie supplied these. They were one of the trickiest parts of this build, getting them, well, to drill in there, but to attach them and get them. I mean, I can move this, but it doesn't. This one has a little bit, but they don't jangle, you know. Pickups made by my friend Sean, just like he made on the white guitar. They are clones for Super Distortion, I believe, which I think Ed had in the Shark at one point. They sound great. Look up Pariah Pickups on Facebook or Instagram or something, and I'm sure you could ask him what the specs are. I don't remember what they are, but they sound fucking great as always. He's always making good shit. Yeah, I think the body is ash, just like the other Franks. Neck is maple, rosewood board. There's not really much to talk about on this one, hardware-wise. Truss rod cover. The one that's on the real one is a really weird shape. It's not... nobody really makes one that looks right. So my friend Donnie had my friend Chris, who made these bodies, make them on a CNC machine, and then Donnie polished it up real nice, and it looks great. So, what else can we cover here? Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff like, you can see there's tear under the paint, and that's based off of some high-res photos. I had some really high-res photos to look at, to look on, to see what the relic, well, I guess, really high-res of the front. The back, not so much. But, so yeah. Or like those impressions in the paint. There's one. There's some deads. You can see that's all tore up. You can see all of the wear and tear on the edge of the teeth. That's all how it is. There's some confusing stripes on this thing. You can see that this stripe just stops. And when I was painting, or when I was taping, I thought, maybe it wasn't that one. Maybe it was, I don't know. One of these stripes I could not get to line up. it all, and I was confused. And luckily I found a side shot of this, of the real one, and so I was able to figure out it just ends. Eye bolts, washers. Wiring this thing probably looks like shit, but I've only ever wired guitars with one pickup and one knob, and so to do 2 pickups, 2 knobs, and a toggle switch, that was difficult. Wasn't bad. I talked to some people, we figured out. My friend Donnie told me how destroyers were wired stock, and I think we kind of went with that. But the real guitar, the neck pickup isn't wired, so there's not as much wire going through this little hole. The biggest problem I had when finally I had the pickups was fitting all of this in there. So, you know, I got it, and it sounds great. But I have it set up where this is my bridge volume, because I use it more than I use the other one. And, you know, bridge, neck, nothing weird. And I pretty much, I could have wired it correctly, but I already have 2 1 pickup guitars. I don't want another one. And I don't know. That's probably the reason I won't do a 5150. I might, I don't know. I don't really want more single pickup guitars, that, especially whammy bar ones. I don't know, it's just real kind of unnecessary. So, oh yeah, let's see. Crooked inlays, accurate, just like the real one. My ugly feet. This little triangle, that was fun. Watching, I think it was Jamie's crying video, and I was stopping the video, you know, multiple times to see anything I could to figure out there was another stripe that I was confused as hell on. And I saw this. I'd never seen this one before, or at least never noticed it. I then saw it in a bunch of other pictures and realized, hey, that's there. This thing, my guess is Ed taped it, and when he pulled it pulled off some silver there. So I just had a mask whenever I sprayed silver, and I left it on, and then added the rest so that the silver would stay behind, and then yanked it all off after red. There's some grain, but it's not awful. This time I used filler and then sealer. The red one I just used filler, the white one I just used sealer. This one was a lot less work, and it turned out just as nice. All sorts of wear. If you're wondering why the gold are here, not over here, 78 it was like that. I don't know why he really changed it, but I've had people mention that to me, that that's wrong. So just figured I'd mention that again. That stripe, that was weird. So we have this stripe that goes down across, right? And I was trying to figure out where it came out over here. And for the life of me, I could not figure that fucking thing out. And then I looked at a photo I had, and you could see that it was cut off right at the edge. You could see just a hair bit of red. Why is that not focusing? And so I, then watching another video, I saw that it just stopped. It didn't go anywhere else. And that's, I don't know, that was confusing the hell out of me for way too long. But yeah, you know. This thing, the metallicness really fucks with your camera. It's got all sorts of wear. You can see that slight scratch and stuff. That was all caused by that gunner belt. I'm just willing to bet, not mine, but the real one. I didn't realize that mine doesn't make quite an arc and connect with this, because I didn't realize what it was when I was looking, but then realized later that I guarantee that fat clasp on the gunner belt, you can kind of see back there. I guarantee, because on the real one it looks like a nice little arc. But yeah, that's the Shark. As you can see, some grain. But really happy with how it turned out. I think it took me like a week from when I got the guitar body in the mail to when it was red. And then a few days later for the pickups and other things. Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty sweet. It's really neat to have the 1978 Frankie with the correct stud strap, a 1978 Shark with the correct gunner strap, both as accurate as I could make it in terms of relic and everything, and parts. So, that's just kind of cool. I didn't go with the newer version, the current version, not because harmonica bridges are hard to find. They're not. They're just expensive. It was like $125. I paid like $30 for this. They're not. New ones are $125. I couldn't really find many vintage ones that were in decent condition, that weren't just garbage. Another reason I wouldn't do the newer one. Well, I guess the new one has a brass. I think it's brass plate here. I didn't really want that, but I also didn't want the version that's 1980-ish where this is turned and it's split. Because these things are really fragile. I don't know how easy it would be to do that. Yeah. Despite what Ed says about cutting this out and it sounds like shit or whatever, no. This is made the same way as a real one. Granted, it's not the same kind of wood. Well, this is Northern Ash. The real one is Sen Ash, I think. Ibanez said it was Carino, but it wasn't. But when Donnie made this, it was made... He was making it originally just as a Destroyer replica. And then I really wanted it. And so he cut it for me. So, it was built fully like the real one. It wasn't like he made it like this and then just altered it. But it sounds great. It's cool. Really neat. Totally awesome. So much fun. Look at that. Eddie. But, yeah. 20-minute video of me saying a bunch. And, I don't know, not explaining much. Pretty neat. It's a really nice color if you're in a decent light. Like I said, it's really fucking with the camera, that reflective paint. But it's not, the real one's not a bright ass red. I'm sure you've seen photos of it where it's like a bright ass red. But those photos are the ones that make the stripes look white. Some people think they're white, they're not. There's no way the stripes are white. I've seen too many photos. Well, shit. You see a photo with that in it. That's white. I mean, this is an off-white. Because I didn't want to have to buy more paint. I already had off-white on hand. But, you can tell in a bunch of photos it is clearly silver. But I just think that whoever took the photos, well, I know that it fucks with your camera, but there's one of my high-res photos was taken by Niels Lazauer in like a studio setting, and it looks a lot brighter red, and the stripes look pretty much white. And I assume white backdrop and everything, he exposed it very high. And I'm sure the guitar looks a lot brighter under stage lights or something. I know when you take this outside, it looks a lot brighter. But I think this is a pretty accurate color. Like I said, it was burgundy berry, metallic, duplicolor paint. All the paints I use are duplicolor. They're just really nice paints to work with. Don't want to drop that. Not focusing. Oh well. As you can see in the background, look at that Van Halen model that isn't done yet. Almost. But yeah. That's the Shark. Strap buttonholes that, I don't know. Obviously the pickguard holes. Pretty snazzy stuff. These pickups have double hex rows. And that's mainly what I wanted my friend Sean to do, because the 1980 photo that I was referencing had pickups like these. I don't know if they're the same ones that were in there in 78, but I like the look of them. But yeah. Pretty nifty. Thanks for watching.